For the first pick in the second round for the Cincinnati Bengals is Tee Higgins out of Clemson. Brady, you were saying you're hearing a lot of coaching staffs really like this guy.
Yeah, it was actually mixed opinions about Tee Higgins. You know, some people liked obviously the length and the big playability. He obviously high points the football extremely well. One of the concerns was he doesn't separate overly well, especially versus some of the better competition. And so that's fine if you can make contested catches like you're seeing on some of these highlights, but the next level, that only becomes that much more difficult. So he's obviously not a finished product by this point, but he definitely has that big playability, that long gait, and he's going to be another one of those big targets on the outside for Joe Burrow that he can throw it up to.
He's listed here at 6'4". I don't know. I stood next to him. I felt like I was looking up to him. Maybe it was the hair that kind of added a little bit of height to him. But he plays even taller. He's got a nice long wingspan, high points the ball. I like how he gets it in traffic. The one area I think he's got to improve on, and you see this struggle with longer receivers like him, is getting off the jam. I remember asking Jeffrey Okudah at the Fiesta Bowl, hey, are you nervous? And he's like, no. He's like, I'm going to get up in him, get in on him, give him a tough time coming off the line of scrimmage. And he struggled somewhat with there on tape at times. You can develop that skill set, but it's going to be something that DBs are going to challenge him on consistently because he's not exactly thick. He's a little thin, too. He's got to get a little bit stronger and better getting off the line of scrimmage.
We say hello tonight for the very first time to Pete Prisco, who's going to be grading every one of these picks. Pete, it's Tee Higgins with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. What's the grade for the 33rd overall pick?
It's a B. I think Higgins is perfect for the guy who's going to replace A.J. Green. I mean, you really look at it on the surface, this looks like a replacement for A.J. Green for the long term. Green will be back next year. He'll play on the franchise tag, but this looks like the same type of receiver, a big physical guy and go up and get the ball. I'm with Brady, though. I worry about the speed. Does he separate? But you know what? In talking to scouts leading up to the draft, they think he's much better than maybe the perception is outside of the NFL. And so if he is, this gives them a nice young receiver to develop with Joe Burrow.
Pete, what do you think of the fact that they went wide receiver instead of offensive lineman with Josh Jones still on the board?
Yeah, well, they need a right tackle. I'm not so sure that Josh Jones can play the right side. That's why I think they moved in a different direction. There are other offensive linemen. Ezra Cleveland, I think, is a left tackle as well. So I get it. And I talked to Zach Taylor about Bobby Hart at the Combine, and I said, look, Bobby Hart's usually a spinning top at right tackle. And they thought he played much better because they protected him a little bit last year. I think they need an upgrade there. I would have tried to find an upgrade. And, you know, Robert Hunt, the guard/tackle from Louisiana, would have been a guy I would have had my eye on.
Okay. Bengals going offense. Joe Burrow and Tee Higgins, a couple of proven winners on that offensive side of the ball. Let's take a look at the weapons that Cincinnati is going to have this season on offense. Of course, you got Joe Mixon at the running back position. A.J. Green is on the roster. Is he going to show up? Is he going to play? But they've added Joe Burrow and Tee Higgins, a couple of winners from college football. Amanda Guerra has much more on the fantasy aspect in Cincinnati.
Yeah, for that, we're going to bring in Jamie Eisenberg to talk about that. Jamie, you had said that Tee Higgins needs work before he is a trustworthy fantasy receiver. As you heard Pete mention, he could be A.J. Green's replacement. So how do you feel about this?
I think it's a perfect setup for him because he doesn't have to carry, you know, the load of being the #1 receiver right away, and he may not ever be the #1 receiver depending on how long A.J. Green stays there. And let's not forget, Tyler Boyd's a very capable #2 and has stepped up when A.J. Green has not been there over the last 2 seasons. So this Bengals offense looks really good. Joe Burrow's going to have an opportunity to put up a lot of points, a lot of fantasy production, so his stock is definitely on the rise. I have him as one of the high-end #2 quarterbacks. Higgins is going to be somebody that you take more so in dynasty or long-term keeper leagues. You're not going to see him drafted in a lot of seasonal leagues outside of maybe a late-round pick. But if A.J. Green does decide to maybe make the franchise tag a problem and hold out, then you can see Higgins have a little bit more increased value. But this is another situation like Dallas last night where you see a talented player going to a crowded receiving core. It's going to bring down the value for all those other guys. So A.J. Green goes from a borderline #2 to I think really a #3 receiver, but somebody who has a ton of upside. Tyler Boyd's a #3 receiver. Don Ross is somebody you're probably not going to see drafted a lot. The one thing with the Bengals we got to keep an eye on, Joe Mixon could hold out. He wants a new contract, so just keep that in the back of your mind when you're looking at this Bengals offense.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.